The next day, 10 miles away from Boston, Joel and Ellie are in the woods. The girl tells him not to blame her for Tess's death, as taking her was their choice, which Joel acknowledges. On their journey, Ellie asks him about the scar on his head, to which Joel answers that somebody tried to shoot him, but missed. Eventually, they find a gas station, where Joel goes to get his stash supplies. While he's busy, Ellie finds a secret basement, discovering tampons and a trapped infected inside. She kills the infected, but doesn't tell Joel about it. As they continue their hike, Ellie questions Joel how the outbreak started, and he replies that though they don't know for sure, their best guess was that cordyceps mutated. Some of it got into the food supply, like flour or sugar, and with some brands being sold all over the world, people consumed it and became infected. Eventually, they came across bones of people who Joel says were not infected, but since the quarantine zones didn't have enough room for them after the outbreak, they were killed. Just after the outbreak in 2003, a prepper and survivalist named Bill escapes the soldiers' attention when they are evacuating the people from Lincoln by hiding in his secret basement. When they're gone, he quickly takes possession of needed supplies, like fuel and groceries, before laying traps around his town, effectively killing any infected that approaches. 4 years later, when his alarm sounds, Bill goes to check it and finds a man who insists he isn't infected in his pit. Still, Bill has the man scanned, and upon finding he's telling the truth, he tells the man where the Boston 𝐄𝐩𝐢𝐬𝐨 is. The man, whose name is Frank, pleads to Bill to give him something to eat, and reluctantly, the latter takes pity on him. After taking a bath, Frank is thrilled by Bill's cooking, thanking him profusely. Afterward, Frank gets excited by the piano and asks Bill to let him play it before he leaves. However, as he's horrendous at it, Bill takes over, proving to be quite talented at playing the piano and having a good voice to match it. Frank is moved to tears, and he kisses Bill, who reciprocates. The two end up in bed, and Bill allows Frank to stay. 3 years later, the two lovers argue, as Bill doesn't see Frank's point of fixing up and decorating their street. When Bill then hears that Frank wants to receive guests, he tells him there are no guests to be had, but Frank reveals he's been talking to a nice woman over the radio. Later, they host Tess and Joel, and while Tess and Frank hit it off, their partners aren't too thrilled. Still, Joel is open to trading with them, and later he warns Bill that though Fedra won't find their place, and they're protected against the infected, they still need to be wary of raiders who come at night. 3 years later, Frank surprises Bill with a strawberry patch he had grown, moving Bill to tears. Bill confesses that he was never afraid until Frank showed up, and the two share a sweet kiss. That night, the raiders come, tripping up Bill's traps and waking Frank up. Bill shoots at them outside and manages to kill them, but he also gets hit by a bullet. After Frank brings him inside, the former fixes his partner up, before Bill loses consciousness. 10 years later, Frank is wheelchair-bound, sick with a degenerative neuromuscular disorder. Bill takes care of him, making sure he eats and takes his pills, before getting him to bed. When morning comes, to Bill's surprise, Frank is up, sitting in his wheelchair, and refusing to come back to bed. Sick of being terminally ill, he tells Bill that he has decided that it is going to be his last day, and as his last wish, Frank tells his lover how he wants their day to go. After they spend time with each other, the two men get married, before they have a wonderful dinner. Afterward, as what his partner instructed him earlier, Bill mixes Frank's crushed-up pills with his glass of wine, and offers it to him. After they both enjoy their drinks, Frank realizes that Bill also put crushed-up pills in the bottle, which Bill then admits. Bill explains he's also old and satisfied, and Frank had been his purpose. And so without his purpose, there is no point in continuing to live. Though the crippled man says he should be furious, he admits what Bill did is romantic, to both of their amusement. The two of them then go to bed together, ready to rest forever. Sometime later, Joel and Ellie arrive at Bill and Frank's place. As the two homeowners don't respond to Joel's calls, he heads toward their room, but it's locked. Meanwhile, Ellie finds a letter addressed to Joel, revealing the old men are already dead. In the letter, Bill has permitted Joel to take anything he needs, guns or equipment to protect the ones he loves. with Joel getting emotional when the letter mentions Tess. After he finds a functioning car in Bill's garage, Joel returns to Ellie and tells her to show him her wound. As it doesn't look infected, the man tells her that they're going to look for his brother in Wyoming, and as Tommy used to be a Firefly, perhaps he'll be able to direct them to where the Firefly lab is. He tells the girl some rules if she's to follow him. The first rule is to never mention Tess. The second one is to never reveal her condition to anyone. And the last rule is that she will listen to him. Afterward, though, Joel doesn't allow Ellie to take a gun. They raid everything else in the house. While Joel showers, the girl finds a gun in Bill's drawer, which she then hurriedly hides in her bag. Once they're ready, they ride away in Bill's car, much to Ellie's excitement, even playing music as they leave the property.